Welcome to The Art of Being Unstoppable, the podcast where we will go beyond the ordinary and embrace the extraordinary. Be part of down-to-earth, no BS conversations where we will explore hot topics on love and money, relationships and business, beauty, and who we get to be with all that shit in between. With our insights and your actions, let's be unstoppable together. Let's go.
Welcome back to another episode of The Art of Being Unstoppable. How is everyone doing today? How are you, Tina Brigley?
Tina Brigley is awesome.
She
Saying
is.
through a big fake smile. No, I'm joking. You know, it's funny, right? Because entrepreneurship is a roller coaster. There's highs and there's lows and there's dips and there's turns and there's unexpected twists. And this is the beauty of what what we take on. And I know a
Yeah,
lot of our listeners are entrepreneurs, and they're probably, and I know we talked about this earlier about y- thinking everybody else has it all together and everybody else looks like they're doing so well. Meanwhile, it depends on where you're at in the stage of your life in your business. There's
absolutely.
always
And
going to be dips,
yeah,
always going to be
yeah,
highs.
yeah,
What cycle are you in right now?
absolutely. What cycle are you in? I think that's key. And I think today we wanted to talk a little bit about confidence, and no matter where we are we confident in ourselves to be able to handle what's coming? Right.
Mm,
And I know that we talk about confidence, and I'd like you to share what you think of confidence. And I know one of my big things is, regardless, walk into the room like God sent you, right?
mm.
Because be confident in who you get to be. But people don't know what that even means. So I think we should break this down a little bit and maybe give some listeners a little bit of ways to really work through that and figure out how they can walk into a room like God sent them.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that confidence is a feeling. Sometimes people say, "Oh, I don't feel confident. I need to find my confidence. I lost my confidence." You didn't lose it.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes what we don't see is that we need to build our competence. If we do something, some people are really great cooks. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'm really confident at cooking." And other people are, I don't feel very confident. Well, what's the only thing that's in the way is competence. If you start cooking and practicing, all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, I'm really confident at this." But your human, your person already has that confidence inside of you. So practicing an action, taking an action until it becomes really easy builds your confidence. But I like to think that confidence is more of a feeling. And so we're chasing that feeling, which is actually competence. So it's kind
Yeah.
of a full
Yeah,
cycle.
absolutely.
You you think about dating. People, "Oh, I don't feel very confident dating." Well, because you haven't been out there in that dating world for a long time. So of course, but
Mhm.
who are you as a human? Are you confident in who you are and what you bring to the table? Because even that can be worked on, and that builds up your competence, which makes you feel confident.
Confident.
So,
I have to agree 100%. When I first started working with Juliana, she does helps me with my social media, my marketing, and um, I cut her hair, and she had been working with me for a good 2 months before I had given her, maybe even three. And then I gave her a haircut, and she was like, "You have no idea the confidence that you exude standing behind that chair." And I said, "Well, I've been behind this chair for nearly 40 years, so it is just second nature." But again, that
yeah.
is the micro actions that took me all of that time to be a master of my craft. So that's why I have confidence in what I stand in, right? And I think confidence comes with a power, because when you have that confidence, it's like a superpower, because
Mhm.
you feel good at what you're doing. You know what you're doing, and you're open to learning and doing better each time, which that in
Mhm.
itself is brings more confidence, more
Yeah.
competence, right? So I remember having, people that came right out of school work for me, and I would say to them, I learned so much from them because they were in school right now. I wasn't in school, since the 80s was when I did
Mm,
my schooling. So when I hiring people in the 90s and the 2000s, and they are very like, they're new, they're fresh, they're really wanting to learn, but they feel like they don't have the confidence because they haven't practiced it long enough. But to let
mhm,
them show them that they can grow and be whatever they want to be in an industry in whatever you choose to do, right? Doesn't matter if
mm.
it's hairstyling or coaching or, carpentry, whatever it is. If you do what you do and you want to learn and keep honing your skills, I believe that everybody, that confidence will exude.
Well, I when I'm thinking about confidence, I think about when I was invited to be a TEDx speaker. I remember having to submit the application video and feeling like the jitters, the this and all of these feelings, right? Oh my gosh. You
Right?
chose me. And I had never been on a big stage before. I had never done that before. But if anybody were to see me out in life and socializing and a very confident human being, walk into the room like God sent you, yeah, that
Hmm.
was me. I didn't have a problem in other areas of my life, but I'm a confident person, but I wasn't confident at speaking publicly. And so, in order to get over that, I had to feel ready. I had to feel confident and I had to feel competent. And
Yeah.
so I practiced and practiced and practiced until it became just, I could do this in my sleep. I can recite this in my sleep. I still had those feelings that came
Yeah.
up like,
Yeah.
I'm scared, but it had nothing to do with confidence. I I was a confident person. I practiced being that. There's certain elements in my life that, you wake up, um parenting, for example. I never thought, "Oh, am I confident enough to be a good parent?" You know? It's just, "Okay, here they are. I have these
Yeah.
kids and I'm
Yeah.
working it out," and,
That's right.
but I think that it's kind of good to know that we have all the confidence we need right now.
Yeah.
It's not something we need to go searching for or find or dig deep to get, it's just another thing that we've been programmed to believe that we have
Hmm.
to find our confidence, we lose our confidence, and we hear those things all the time over
Well,
our friends. We even talk about that. "I don't know what happened. Feel like I just lost my confidence." Well, what are you talking about? "Well,
yeah.
I'm going to a new job, or I'm doing this, or I'm getting back out there, or I'm doing." It's like, "Okay, great." It's just a part of something that's new, and anything
Yeah.
new is uncomfortable, and then we label it, "I'm not confident." That's not true. You, as a human being, you can be confident. This
Hmm.
is the other beautiful thing. We talk about intention plus action equals results. Intention is who you're being. You can be confident right now. Be confident. Then what are you
Yeah.
going to do? Walk into a room. You're going to take those actions.
Hmm.
Walk into a room like God sent you. You're going to own your humanity. You're going to say, I feel a certain way. Because even that, expressing how you feel about a situation, I feel scared. Isn't that confidence? To have the courage to actually speak your truth?
Yes.
So, what do you mean you're not confident? Real confident people own their humanity, own their faults, own their breakdowns, own their
Shit.
themselves,
They own their
all of
shit.
themselves, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. And right when you mentioned raising kids, and that really brought something up for me, because what I remember, you know, thinking, how do you do this? Like when I had my first child and people would say, you shouldn't rock him to sleep. I'm like, why? Was he going to be 30 sitting on my knee and I'm going to rock him still? No, I get to do whatever because I was confident in myself to know what was best for me and my child. And I think that
Mhm.
that's where it comes down to. It's the knowing and the believing in yourself. But again, we are programmed to believe all of these things, right? And we label everything like, I have anxiety. No, you don't have anxiety. You're not, I have a feeling of anxiety, but you aren't that thing. You aren't not confident. You aren't those things. It's a label all the time. And those labels,
Mhm.
we've talked about labels before. And like you said, it's not the truth. We can have,
Mhm.
we can feel not so confident in, you bought those new shoes and you're wearing them for the first time and oh, I don't know if I should wear those shoes. Well, it's not that you're not confident in yourself. You know how to walk, but it's just the new, right? So it's
Yeah,
if we
yeah.
put it into that kind of perspective too, like we get to try new things on and practice, practice, practice. That's all it is. That's all it's about is practicing and believing in who you get to be, like your intentions. And I was going to say the same thing when you brought up intention plus action equals results, because we can have all the intention in the world in this, we can talk about this, but when we put down the mic, if we're not taking the action, means nothing.
Yeah, and that's the hardest part I find with developing your competence, right? Because you have such strong feelings sometimes when you're about to do something that you've never done before. And then the fears and the doubts and the limiting beliefs show up to say, no, 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 you can't do that. No, 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 people are going to laugh at you. No, 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 you're going to look like a fool. But it's those thoughts are not yours.
Mhm.
And I say, where I ask people all the time when I'm doing personal coaching with them, when they say, oh, but I'm going to fail. Is it true? Is it true that you know you're going to fail? Or is it true this is going to happen? Well, is it happening right now? No. Okay, then it's not true.
Yeah.
But whose voice is that? Is it this your scared parent that says, "No, no, no, don't do that. You shouldn't take that at school." And then that external voice becomes your internal dialogue, and then you wonder what's yours and what's not. And this is the blessing and the curse of personal development, I find,
Mhm.
is navigating what is ours to own and what's ours to let go of. What are the patterns that we're hanging on to that we think are ours, and interrupting those thoughts, taking new actions to get new results is not for the faint of heart. It really
Mm-mm.
does take something. It takes a lot of bravery and courage, but knowing that you have all the confidence you need right now.
Yeah.
Are you willing to dig to pull that part of you out? Because we were all born with just such an innate, zest for life, and
Yeah.
we somehow we put those filters up when things, you know, break us down, or what am I trying to say? When things happen in life and they don't go the way we expected, or they leave some sort of emotional scar, then we put up this wall to protect ourselves from not feeling that way again. Oh, I remember I didn't feel confident and I took this action and it backfired, and I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
but maybe that came up to help you break through something, but you couldn't see, it wasn't part of your awareness. So, the action is the key, and
Mhm.
it's not always easy to take new actions.
No, no, it's not.
I
It
know.
goes back
I'm
to
in
the
the thick of
comfort
it.
zone, right?
I'm in the thick of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
but you
yeah.
know what? Taking it on, Tina, too, is is not for the faint of heart, and that's what the you know, really what I think I'm trying to say is, if you're struggling with that, if you are, look within, ask yourself those questions. Are you happy with who you get to be? Right? Like, because it's all in there. It's all in there. Like, are you really, would you want to try something new? Try it in small, micro actions. Work your way
Mhm.
up to that bigger shift that you're looking for. Like, because the more you practice, like anything, like, when riding a bike, when you see those kids on the bike for the first time, then you take the training wheels off and you watch them go. Well, they're going to struggle, but they're going to
Mhm.
keep practicing and they're going to keep getting better at it and better at it. And then they're not going to forget that. It's like something they
Mm.
can't undo now. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's the same with us with taking these small actions. Like, it's not an easy first step. The first step is always the hardest. But, it's harder. Really, it's choosing your heart. Do you want to stay or do you want to keep moving forward?
Okay. So I'm laughing right now, you guys, because I'll just share what's going on in my life, either it's dating or it's business or so 2 years ago I decided to partner with an old business partner to be part of Linked Coach to grow people's businesses on LinkedIn. In the last couple years, I've been helping people really amplify their results on LinkedIn. And there was this part of me that in the beginning, I was not confident with LinkedIn. In fact, I had such strong aversion to LinkedIn. I'm like, LinkedIn does not work. It doesn't work for me. I don't like it. And I remember Adrian saying to me, do exactly what I say. Let me help you build your confidence and competence in this. Just take it on and see. And I took it on with velocity. It's like, okay, not so bad. But there was a part of me that was like, okay, I did it. I became competent. But is this where I really truly want to be? Is this leading me closer to my purpose and my passion, which is to make a difference in people's lives? And I could justify it. But at the end of the day, I was like, there's just something that's missing. And really looking at that and saying, oh my gosh, but I've just built this for 2 years. And am I going to start and stop and da 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 da, all of this stuff? And it's like, okay, I go back to it's all a simulator. Everything's working out exactly the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
You don't realize it at the time. But yeah, I wasn't very competent at that, but I built my competence. I got really good at it, made some really good impact. But then I was like, this isn't this isn't where I'm supposed to be. This isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. And that comes with, okay, but now what? Now
Right.
what?
Right.
And sometimes people stay in places where they know they're not supposed to be for a very long time because it is comfortable.
Yeah.
And then once you develop the competence and you feel then it's like, okay, but wait a minute, what is my heart saying right now? Is my heart really aligned to my life, my purpose, who I'm being, what I want to be known for in the world? And so I share that because it's not linear. you know, you might try on this whole competence thing. I want to do this. I want to start a business. I want to start a new relationship. And you put 100% into it and you might realize, you know what? Okay, I got competent, but it doesn't light me up. Or maybe this
Mhm.
isn't where I'm supposed to be. And that's okay.
That is
Pivot,
okay.
turn.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
It's okay. It's all good. And I really truly see that life is a funny thing because when we think we know where we're heading, chances are it's probably not where we're heading.
And
So,
I don't think that anyone, and this is the thing too, and I do want to say this because, I met you when you were personally coaching. That's when I met you. You were a
yeah.
coach. You were a personal coach. You weren't in with the business coaching at that time. And, you know, my life was forever changed,
Mm,
and it really helped me get through the lowest part of my whole life. And so me seeing you through that filter, that lens, as your friend, was you can do whatever you want to do. And that's, I've said that to my children their whole lives. I don't care what you do as long as you are happy doing it. Be
mhm,
happy. And that doesn't change when we become adults. That doesn't change when we shift careers. The happiness still has to be there. You have to want to and love what you do every day because we get this life and we get to make it the best it can be. And if that's with
mhm,
confidence, competence, whatever it looks like for you, you get to choose that. No one can make that choice but you, and you got to work through it all. And that's what we do is help people. You know, I help you. Do you need a listener? Do you need advice? What do you need? I'm here for whatever. And that's the importance of people in your life, is to have that so that you can get more competent in the choices that you get to make. You have that, um, like the, uh, people in your life that really work with you and help you through those times. But at the end of the day, the choice is yours, and it is a choice. And you had to do what you did, like you said. You know it's bringing you somewhere. You know where you're going is where you're going. But you get to choose how you get to feel while you're doing it as well. And I think that the feelings are what sometimes we sweep under the rug because, well, it doesn't matter. I need to pay my bills, or it doesn't matter. I need to do, you know what I mean? It's a need to do instead of a want. And, it makes me happy to know that you get to choose what you want to do and you get to stand in that. And that's all. To me, that's what being unstoppable is all about, is making a choice and standing in it, because you stood in the choice that you made when you did work with Adrian, and you stood in that choice very powerfully, and you did it. And you learned, like you said, you became competent with LinkedIn, and you knew what was happening. And now you get to choose something different, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm. And I think you bring up a good point too, because for those of you that are listening, right? Nobody can speed up your process for you.
No.
People, sometimes we go to our friends and family for advice. What should we do? What should we do? And it seems like everybody can see what is good for you, but unless you are willing to own that for you, like what is good for
Yep.
me, and ask yourself that question. Everybody around us has good intentions. We have good intentions to support people where they're at in their journey.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's up to us to really ask ourselves those questions, because all the answers we need are in ourselves.
Yes.
But what we do is we go to TikTok, we go to social media, we go to our friends, we go to our family, like almost asking people like, help me make a decision, help me make a choice. And all of that noise actually really it it creates so much noise that we can't hear our own internal compass. And so when you are in a position where you're about to make a change, or you feel that you need to make a change, whether it's in a relationship or your health or your business, the best advice I would ever recommend is get quiet and tune out. Stop going outside of yourself for
Hmm.
answers. Look inside first.
Yep.
And then once you know what you want, then the guides, then the mentors, then the friends and family can help you where you need help. But I find that sometimes, even though I'm a coach and even though you're a coach, we help people. I know that there's so many times people have come to me and said, Tina, I just don't know. I don't know what I should do. And I say, figure it out and then get back to me when you do, because I can't play God and speed up your process.
No.
And when we do that, sometimes we take away from people's journeys and their
Mhm.
voice. And I'm very key. Like, nobody is an expert like you are.
That's
I'm
right.
not an expert. I'm an expert in me. Vicky's an expert in Vicky.
Yep.
You're an expert in you. But when you get clarity, stop looking outside for answers and look inside. You'll know what you need, and then you can look for somebody to help speed up the next steps, right? But
Yeah.
that state of confusion, that state of flux, that state, you and I have both been in it, like where we felt like, oh my gosh, it's normal. It's a normal part of life.
Yeah.
Um, but I highly, highly recommend, when you're in that state, if not when or if, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
Everybody has time. Ask yourself the questions first before looking for external answers. And I know that the personal development space is really good at giving advice and external answers. But my experience is, listen to your heart above all voices.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's hard to do that sometimes because I do it all. I was doing it for years. It's probably the reason why I've made some of the choices that I have because I haven't listened to what I haven't given myself the space or the
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
to sit with what is it and then have the courage to take my next step. And that's the we're talking about intention plus action equals results. When we know, then it's having the courage to choose the next step. What is
Yeah.
the next step? Who
Yeah.
can help me with my next step? What do I need in order to execute? But that is such an internal game. It's such an internal, um, I like to call it an awakening,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And we started this talking about confidence, and I believe that this all comes circles right back to that. Because like you said in the beginning, we all have it. Do you have the
Mhm.
confidence to make the choice that you want to make though?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's the question, right? And you do. I know you do. And I'm not speaking to Tina, I'm speaking to everyone. We all do. We have it.
Mhm.
It's just, and don't be afraid if we make mistakes, we learn, we grow. That's what it's about. It's
And
okay.
I think sometimes we think that we're on there's this timeline or something,
Yeah.
I need to there is no timeline.
No.
Life is still moving forward. The plans that are in place for you, I believe, are already set. Um, and we can try and control and manipulate, but at the end of the day, it's going to happen whether you like it or not. Where
Yeah.
you're meant to be guided, you'll be guided.
Yeah.
But the question is, are you willing to listen to those whispers, and allow the guidance to come through? Spiritual intuition is, a lot of people that listen are on a spiritual path. And I truly believe that the ultimate spiritual path is listening to your guided intuition. And when you know that when you hear that whisper, that push to take a new direction, and you're questioning why. I kept thinking for the last couple months, I want to get my Reiki certification. I want like a wellness center in my basement. I kept hearing it. I kept hearing it, but I'm like, but why? I'm not even a Reiki practitioner. I'm not even in this world. I don't know anything, but it kept coming up. And then my sister yesterday said, Tina, you should open up a wellness center and rent out your office and da 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 da. It was almost like because I had this thought, I had this feeling. Now I believe that my sister might have been the vessel
Hmm.
to iterate that message, say, "Hey, what?" Because in my head, I couldn't really think, "How can I make this work? What would it look like?" And da 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 da. But she said, "Hey, why not this?" When we're clear about what we want and how we want our life to look, those people, those guides, those earth angels, those mentors, those messages will start coming, but you gotta set the intention and really feel into what you want because the rest is going to happen when you
Yeah.
declare what you want.
That's right.
Otherwise, it stays blocked. But when you say, "Oh my gosh, Tina, this was a divine message. I needed to hear this message today. Vicky, oh my gosh, your video, it was so." Yes, it was because you've been opening yourself to say, "This is what I need and this is what I want. Send me
Yeah.
send me answers, send me this, send me." This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
Facebook post where you're like, "Oh my gosh, I was just thinking this." That's not coincidental.
No.
That spiritual guidance, that spiritual intuition, and that's evidence of your spiritual intuition. And that is the practice. And that is scary because you're asking to have certainty without any evidence. And
Yes.
we
Yes.
like evidence.
We like evidence. Oh yeah, we do. We like to prove it.
Right? But this is real confidence and real certainty and real trust, and competence is the outcome of that, the practice, the actions. But ultimately, we all have it already in us right now.
Uh-huh.
We can access it right now.
Mm-hmm.
We just got to choose it.
Yeah. Yeah, we
And
do.
that's the hardest part.
It is.
No,
It
no,
is.
I'm not ready to change. No, I'm not ready to take action. No, no. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Nobody's time.
Mm-mm.
2
No.
years, I was like, "Oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Whatever." And then it was like, "Yeah, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe this was a stepping stone." But nobody could have sped up, better than anybody. Nobody could have sped that up.
No.
It had to be an empowered choice for
Yeah.
me
Yep.
when I
That's right.
was ready to
Yeah.
take that action. Nobody can
Yeah.
do that, you guys, for you.
Exactly.
Nobody can force you into action. You
You
get to
have to.
choose it.
Yeah.
And when you do, man, it's such a powerful, beautiful experience.
It
But
is.
it's your
And
timeline.
it is. It's your timeline and you get to choose it. And
Mhm.
we've done that. We've talked about choice over decision and we've talked about all of this before. But again, that confidence is in you. And if you think that you don't have the confidence, I hope you heard that you have it. You have
Mhm.
the confidence. It's just, you just get to work on it a little bit and you get to choose what you want and who you want
Mm.
to be.
Yeah. That's it. That's it,
That's it.
guys. I know it's
On that, we
scary.
will
I
say
know it's
goodbye. Yeah. Thank you for listening. And don't forget to share this with your friends. And we hope to see you back the next time. Have a beautiful day, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Well, friends, that is the end of our episode today. If you love this episode, hit the subscribe button so you never miss another episode. And please share us with your friends and tag us on your socials at The Art of Being Unstoppable. So for today, have yourself a beautiful day and let's be unstoppable together. See you next time.